Hi, fellow traders. Yeah, we have made it through another week. I'm just glad I made it through. I'm happy. I'm green. And, today, it wasn't the best of days, but I'm sure happy that I'm going out this week on a day like I had today. All right. But what I do want to tell you now, I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer or anything like that. I'm just trying to be real. We are in a recession. There's no doubt about it. There's no way to say we're not. If you look at the textbook definition of a recession is a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in two successive quarters. Our GDP fell the first quarter, our GDP fell the second quarter. I think after the first quarter, we were officially in a recession. But we don't believe it because we don't feel it. How can we feel it? We're being pumped up. The Fed just met this week and said they're going to continue to do whatever they need to do to keep this economy up. You look at all these guys that were working. Now they're actually making more money on unemployment than they were on their jobs. Believe it or not, there's a lot of people who have worked all their lives and their checks have never been over $600 a week. Never. And that's happening now. So are they going to feel like they're in a recession? Absolutely not. So nobody's really feeling it right now. And what I'm thinking and what I can relate this to is somebody just living beyond their means, living on credit. They have a nice apartment, nice car that takes up all of their check, and then in order to pay their bills and buy food and gas and all this other stuff, they live off credit cards. Eventually, those credit cards are going to get maxed out. You have no more credit, no cash coming in, no way to pay the credit cards down. And like that, the bottom's going to fall out. And that's what I'm afraid of. Okay, I love now. I mean, obviously, I don't feel a recession. People that are in the market aren't feeling it. They're making money. They're not worried about it. They're gonna make. We're gonna make money whether the market goes up or down. It doesn't matter to us. But the overall economy, what's happening outside of our house, we got to be concerned about. And so, because of this, now we have to make sure that we're ready when that time comes, that we're ready to shift gears, that when that bubble pops, it's gone. Look at, I don't know how many of you guys have seen that movie, The Big Short. If you're in trading, I'm sure you've seen it. And you saw how the banks knew that the stuff they were peddling was worthless. They knew it. But they put a value on something that had no value. They kept inflating it. And that's what's happening to us. Our economy just keeps getting inflated, seemingly by money being printed and just passed out, and not enough is coming in. So we saw what happened with that. And there's another movie. What's the name of that movie? Margin Call. Where this company, this firm, they knew a long time before this happened that at some point what they were selling is going to be worthless. They knew that. But they just pretended that they didn't know. And finally, when it hit the fan, all hell broke loose. And I'm just thinking that this is what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to happen all at once. I don't know if it's going to happen in phases. But we as traders, we have to be ready. We have to make sure that in our swings that we are taking profit at strategic levels. We're not sitting there overly exposed, not locking up profit as we go. Just like in day trading, how many times have we been in a stock and it turned on us at the drop of a dime for no apparent reason whatsoever, or turns out that some news popped up, and of course we retail traders are the last to know, so the stock's going to move and then we know what's going on. So it's really, really crazy. But I wanted to say it because a lot of us don't want to believe it. We want to be told that everything is fine, everything's going to be okay. But there's going to come a day of reckoning. And if we're not prepared for it, we're going to get hurt by it. So I'm just saying this so that we could be mentally prepared and understand what's going on and know what can happen, so we have a plan so it doesn't really hurt us and we can keep on trucking. So look at the SPY here. We are doing good. Now, we didn't do as good as I thought we would today. We did open with a nice gap up, but we sold all the way off, almost back to the 20, and then ended the day pretty good. These are the type candles we typically see when a stock is reversing or changing course. And, maybe this is the last hurrah where it tested support and all of this stuff, and then it bounced. So I'm still looking for 330 and to continue push up. We'll see if that's going to happen here sometime in the near future. I'm thinking next week, unless something major happens over the weekend, who knows. But like we were talking about this past week on earnings, the big techs, 3 big tech names: Facebook, Amazon, Apple, the FANG stocks, Google, they reported some better than expected earnings. All right, solid. That helped hold the market up. Even though the talks are stalled. And remember that $600 a week unemployment I was telling you about? These guys aren't getting that check next week. So what do you think is going to happen? I doubt very seriously if there were a lot of people saving that money. I doubt it. So what's going to happen? No, who knows? The only person I know that saved it was my mom. She's retired, but she worked part-time at this fur store, and which is probably the easiest job in the world, because South Carolina is one of the hottest places in the country when you factor in the humidity. Not too many people are going to buy fur coats, and the people that do, are going to be the wealthy type. So they don't really have a whole lot of traffic. Her checks probably were $475 to $525 a week. She's getting $600 a week. But she was smart enough to save it. But she's retired and, has all her other stuff coming in. But it's just something to think about here. With Facebook, Amazon, and Apple, people were spending that money. They were spending that money. And we do not need that money to stop. Because retail sales and everything were up. They were almost as good as they were before the pandemic hit. So we know, there's no doubt about that money came back into the economy once people start getting it. So We need them to come together. And so that can have an effect. What happens this weekend, what comes out this weekend, can have an effect on what we see when the market opens Monday. But we may have more information, and we'll talk about that Sunday morning in our market analysis and swing session. So you guys look forward to that. All right, so real quick, today, PINS, I really thought this was going to give a better move. I really did. This level here, I thought was a micro level that we probably would not respect. But I was wrong. I mean, it was respected. This was the target that I had in mind right here. And, I got in and I had the hold. This went against me pretty good. But I was determined to say, look, we've got all of this resistance here. This thing may be doing what all of these stocks have done to me all week, is go back and shake out the week, which I was a weak hand. I got shaken out, but I wasn't going to let that happen today. I said, I'm going to wait. If this candle closes and confirms, then I'm done. I'm dead in the water. But it never did. It never did confirm. And it came down, hit my first target, and immediately bounced. Stopped me out, going back to break even. And then it comes down and hits my second target down here. And, it never came back again. This is where I was looking for it to come, but it just didn't. It just did not make it, unfortunately. So, that's fine. I took what it gave me, and I know some people are like, this isn't a good risk reward trade. The reward I'm looking for was down here, okay, which was about 2 points. That's what I was looking for. And yeah, I was gonna risk a 1 point, but I did let it go a little bit further than one. But this would have been a 2-to-1 deal had it worked out the way it was supposed to, or that I was looking for it to, but it didn't. And I took profit because that's what we do. And we live to fight another day. So Roku, this is one I really screwed up on. And it was, I should have waited and dealt with this before I went to get in my car. This was right at lunch, and I got in right before I left because I wanted to get in before I actually left. And what I was looking at was, okay, here's where the channel break was. This was a good entry here. But we had 50 cents away this level here. So I didn't want to get in and then take some off at 50 cents. I said I wait. Once we got out over here, and claimed this level, I was going to get in. We closed above it. This candle opened, started pushing green. I got in, and they pulled the plug. And so I had trouble logging in. I have Wi-Fi in my car. I had trouble logging in, so by the time I got to it, we had washed out big time. And I didn't put the stop in. And so I had to take a bigger hit than, what I wanted to. This was over $1.50. I mean, it was awful. But then I turned around and I'm like, look, this is, this is a good setup here. I'm going to short this, and I'm going to grab some here at the 50, and it should pull back to the opening range high. And so it did that. We got the opening range high. It missed it on this candle for some reason, but it did hit on this candle, which was good. And then, I was just taking profit. Right here, was just one of those things that messes up when I'm dealing with an 11-inch laptop and it's touchscreen, and somehow, and this happens every now and then, I had the stop order set, and somehow it changed to market. So when I thought I was putting my stop order in, it just sent a market order immediately, and it took me out. And it would have made it to the 200 because I was looking at opening range low and the 200, as my final target on this. It actually sold all the way through to this level here, but this would have been my final target. So just a little hiccup on this. This was the worst trade of the day, the worst two trades of the day. Just this was good, but this stop out wasn't. It just wasn't where I wanted to get out, and so that was a kind of a misstep on me, but still ended. Did not hurt myself on this. I don't know. I don't even know if I was green or not. I forgot to really look at it. If I did get back green, if I was still red, but either way, I feel okay with that. BA, this was a stock I took looking for the channel break. When I got in this a little bit early. I think, let me see. Yeah, I got in a little bit before this candle closed. And I was like, when I got in, I'm like, look, if you were going to do that, you could have got in back up here a little bit. But either way, I was looking for this channel to break. Or not the channel to break, but this to claim this move down and then, get this sell off. This was the target here, this 158. That was the final target. And I was going to take profit strategic points along the way. And that was my goal. I wasn't going to take, this is the 5-minute opening range low. And you could see how it just kind of messed around. So I was just kind of waiting for a candle to confirm a loss of that 5-minute opening range. And then we could get in and start, making some moves. But we ended up bouncing here. And I'm like, damn. It took out the 9. I could have left it on and put the stop at break even. It never would have taken it out. But we were taking out the 9, so I just went ahead and got out of it and said I could get back in on this channel break. We put in the top of a channel here, and we got the bottom of the channel here. So I waited. I didn't try to trade it in no man's land. Once we broke the channel, that was it. And this was the instructions I left before I went to lunch, that this is what we're going to do if it sets up during lunch. This was the trade. There was no trade up in here. We had to wait. So I got it, and I said, if it gets stuck here, I'll take it. But if not, I'm looking for a 157.50. This thing came close. Might have came within a couple cents. And then it bounced. And once we got back here, I just went ahead and took everything off and said I could reset under here again. And that's what I did. Because all this did was put in another channel here. And I got in under it and started working this again. So hit my first target here, 156.50. The level or the target, final target was 154. That's where the next level was. But I took it here and we bounced, got out, break even again. Then we turned around and pulled back. And again, I'm not going to fall for this. I'm not going to trade in channels anymore. Even though it looks like it's rejecting, and it's starting to come in. I told you guys, don't fall for this trick, because this is what they do all the time. Wait till it breaks the channel. If it doesn't break the channel, you don't have a trade. So it ended up breaking the channel to the upside, but you're running into all this resistance. So there was really no trade there for me either. So it did eventually reverse, but you just can't trade it through. I can't trade it through all of this. So I had to walk away from it. But you could see what it was putting in. I mean, all you had to do was just sit back and look at this. And it's like, hey, we are starting to reverse course here. And that's exactly what happened. So did pretty good on that one. And we ended the day 493.93. Even with the first big hit on Roku, so I didn't get back green. I'm still red, almost $50 on that trade. But still a nice way to end the Friday, especially after the crazy week that I've had. And so I'll take it. I'm not going to complain about it. And you can see July was really, really short month for me. Here's where the wheels were coming off. And guys, if you were in the room, the wheels were coming off. Starting early July. This quarantine thing was beating me down, and it started so early. I couldn't take the little trips that I normally take to, wind down and decompress and all that. We couldn't do all of that. So it was starting to just take its toll on me. So I had to take a week off from trading, or from day trading, because that's what was really weighing me down. You can swing trade forever and it doesn't even bother you. But day trading is where it takes all your mental energy and you experience all of these emotions. So Wednesday and Thursday leading into the market holiday, those 2 days, $1,100 down. And I think I might have been red Monday and Tuesday and at the end of June. But this week was a bad week for me. Then we had the vacation and came back strong on Monday. Really solid trading that Monday. Tuesday, didn't do so well. Thursday, pretty good. Wednesday, pretty good. Thursday, another hit. Big day on Friday. So, had a really good week. And I'm thinking, yeah, this is exactly what I needed. Come back Monday, good day. Then Tuesday and Wednesday, not so good. Thursday, Friday was all right. But only ended the week $773 up after a $2,800 week the week before. And this week was pretty bad too. 301. And every day this week, with the exception of today, I started out in the hole. First two trades, at least the first two trades were red. So each one of these days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, every day started out red. And I'm very fortunate to end this week almost up $600. Very fortunate. And 3107.37 for the month. And again, that's not bad. If you look at me taking a whole week off and starting the month down $1,100, and all I did was stay true to myself. I tried to not change up anything, trade the way I always trade, and just be consistent, because I know the strategy is a winning strategy. Most of the time, it's the trader that screws it up. And so if I don't screw up, I've got a good chance of making money. So not bad for the month of July. And, you look at the equity curve, it is definitely going in the right direction. Definitely going in the right direction. Now, we went backwards. Yeah, last week of June was red. First week of July was red. No change. This was the vacation week, so there was really no change. This probably should be black instead of red. But 2 red weeks in a row here. Did have 2 red weeks in a row back in April. So, maybe in a couple of months I'll have 2 red weeks in a row again. But I'm okay. Almost 26 grand through 2 quarters. I'm not complaining at all. I wish I would have twice this much. And I thought I would have twice this much. But you know what happened. And we'll see what happens the rest of the year. If we can finish the year really strong, we may have a couple bucks in our pocket. So that's where we're at. That's going to do it for me. You guys have a great weekend. Those of you that come in with me on Sunday, I'll see you guys in chat on Sunday morning. You guys that did the free trial this week, you'll be able to come in Sunday morning if you want to, but Sunday is when everything shuts off. So come in for the last hoorah on Sunday. But if you don't make it, thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you learned that no matter how tough your week can be, if you stay true to yourself, if you stick to what you do, because a lot of people were saying, why you do this? You can do that. Try this, try that. You can't do that. You got to stay true to yourself and be consistent, and things will work out. All right. So you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will see you, if not Sunday, I'll see you guys Monday morning.